Thanks to EA for giving me early access. What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to a brand new speed build. So for today's video I am particularly excited because this is my very first build with the brand new Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack. So thanks to the EA Creator Network I was given early access, and that means that I was given access to a special version of the game, if that makes sense, that contains of just the base game and then the brand new pack, so no other packs were used. Also, this is not the final software, that's why my username SimmerySims is just kind of jumping around on the screen. It's going particularly fast because this obviously is a speed build, so it's sped up footage, and that's why the name is kind of bopping around pretty fast. I hope it's not too distracting, but yeah, this is not final software, so everything you're looking at is subject to change. But nonetheless, I am very excited to share this with you all. So obviously, to just jump right into things, I was so excited to build a small business, and that's what we're doing here today. So I'm building in the world of Nordhaven, which is obviously the new world that comes with a brand new pack. This world is very Nordic inspired, but also very clearly inspired by Amsterdam, at least part of it is. You can definitely tell in this neighborhood here. This reminds me of Amsterdam. I'm very familiar with the city. I live 30 minutes away. I went to school there. I know it really well. And this definitely reminds me of Amsterdam. You can tell by the architectural style, the details used on the builds, and I just was very excited about that. So naturally, I just wanted to build something that I thought was inspiring and just exciting to me, and particularly Dutch, and that is a coffee store and a bike shop. I thought that would be so much fun. This is the first thing I did when I had access to this pack. So when I started building this, I didn't know anything about anything when it comes to the brand new gameplay and stuff. I was also just looking at all the new build items for the first time, and I decided to just immediately sit down and start building. So that's what I did with this one. I'm a little bit more familiar with the gameplay now. I've done some gameplay in the meantime as well, now that I'm doing this voiceover. So I know a little bit more about the pack. I understand it a little bit better. But when I first started building this, I was just building for vibes. I wanted to do a cute store with an apartment on top. So essentially this is 3 builds in one. It's 2 shops or 2 stores. And then also a little apartment on the 2nd and 3rd floor of the main building. So yeah, that's what we're building, or what we're doing today. And I was definitely feeling inspired by the Amsterdam architecture, like the Dutch architecture that you can kind of see around here. With the little canals and the bridges. I just think it's so cute. I also really like the new world just in general. I love the different styles that are kind of incorporated, I guess, in this world. The Amsterdam styles, but also the Nordic styles. I think it's so much fun. There's 2 neighborhoods in this world, and this is the neighborhood that's called Gamelvik, if I'm remembering correctly. I think that's what it's called. And I really like this area. It's very small town-ish, and I just think it's really cozy. The lots are a little bit smaller, which I really like. I love smaller lots in general. So yeah, I'm very excited about it. And so here you can see that we are starting on, or that we're building this townhouse. And first I wanted to do like a small basement. I thought that was going to be really cute. I got rid of that though because I don't know, it just wasn't working out the way I wanted it to, so I decided to just get rid of it. And then I decided to add a second like small building next to it, so it's essentially like a little row of 2 buildings, you could say. And then we have 2 shops. So the main part of the building, the ground floor of it, is going to be a coffee store or a coffee shop. And then the other little building next to it is going to be a bike store. Now, right off the bat, unfortunately, I don't think the bike store is going to be particularly functional in the way that you would want it to, or in the way that you would expect. I thought that we would maybe be able to just set items for sale, like anything. So also bicycles, if you just placed stuff around and then maybe you could set things for sale, because I think that's how Open for Business in The Sims 2 actually worked. Is you kind of had this tool where you could click things that you wanted to set for sale, if I'm remembering correctly. Now, from what I understand from the gameplay that I've done so far with this pack, is that you can only set things for sale that you can slot to the retail displays. So smaller items or food, stuff like that, that basically like slots to the retail displays. Bikes are way too big, and I don't think they slot to the retail displays unless there are retail displays that I kind of skipped over that you can slot bigger things to. Like maybe that's a thing. I'm sorry that I'm not exactly sure if that's the case or not, but from what I've seen and from what I understand, you can only set things for sale that you can slot to the retail displays. So that is not something you could do with bicycles, and therefore I don't think you can actually sell bicycles, which I think is a little bit unfortunate because that would have been so cute if that was something that you could actually do on this lot. But that is not a thing. However, the coffee store is definitely functional. So the way that would work, I think, is if you were to place down a ticket kiosk and then you set a one-time fee or an hourly fee for customers to come in, and then you could, for example, have your sim that owns the coffee store work as a barista behind the coffee bar, and then they can just kind of serve coffee. I think that's how that's going to work, but we can always try that in gameplay. Of course, after the speed build, I will show you this entire build in real time. And I did set it as a residential or as a small business lot, so I have a sim here for playtesting and everything, so maybe we could just quickly go through and see if that works. But I think that would be really, really cute. And then the bike store, unfortunately, is just not functional, so that's just going to be for vibes. From what I understand, maybe I'm wrong, I could definitely be wrong, but yeah, I think that's going to be the case. So here for this lot, you can see that I was trying to blend it into the surrounding area. I was really trying to make it look like a little shop that is just like a really like small town kind of like city shop. I just used this tile to kind of blend it in with the rest of the world. And then obviously this build does use only gameplay in the new pack, so I'm heavily focusing on the items from the new pack. And I was just discovering them as I was building when I was doing this build, because like I said, this was the very first thing that I did when I first got my hands on this early access version of the game. So yeah, that was very exciting. I was very, very excited to see all these windows and doors. I think they're so, so pretty. I love those doors. I love those townhouse type windows. They're really big and like the frames are bulky and just so pretty. I really like it. And then there's some really beautiful, colorful wallpapers in this pack as well that I really enjoy. We've got some new tiles and some like brick and stuff. And I just think it's so, so pretty. I'm using that green plaster on part of this build as well. I really, really like that green plaster. I think it's so pretty. The colors that I used on this build, I mean, maybe they're a little bit out there. I can completely understand if people maybe don't love them as much, but I'm obsessed with green. I love anything green, and I just feel like this color green that we have for this plaster isn't really a color green that I've seen in the game so far. And I really like it. I think it's so pretty. Everything looked a little bit different for me because normally I use RESHADE in my game, and that obviously, you know, kind of like adds this filter to the game and adds some different colors and just, I guess it's like a filter to your game. And since this is a separate build of the game, I didn't actually have RESHADE installed in here, so everything just looks a little bit different. But yeah, I still really like it. I love the look of RESHADE, but I always just really miss it when I don't have it. But for this one, it really didn't bother me as much because I just really like the colors that come with the pack and the wallpapers and stuff. So yeah, I was definitely enjoying that. So here, the reason why I chose to do a bike store, obviously, is because this is inspired by Amsterdam, and I just really wanted to create something Dutch and something that I'm very familiar with. So that's why I decided to do a little bit of a bike store here. So as you can see, I parked some bicycles. I also found these really cool bike wheels in debug that I just kind of placed on the wall. There's also some bike frames in debug that you can kind of hang on the wall. So that was really cool and perfect for a bike shop as well. So I was feeling very inspired by it. And then for the build buy in general, obviously that's what I was most curious about when I first got my hands on this pack, because I am me and I am definitely a builder, and that is the most important thing to me. I am not disappointed. I really like the build buy stuff in this pack. Like I mentioned already, I really like the windows. There is a nice mix of modern industrial type doors and windows, but then also these very townhouse like windows and doors that you can kind of see that I used here. I also used a more industrial modern type door here on the side for this little outdoor area to the cafe, so I did use that as well. But for this build, obviously I mostly focused on the more townhouse type items. But yeah, I really like that mix of build style stuff, and I just think that that is really cool. It really blends in nicely with the world build as well, because we have this more townhouse-like area. And then we also have the other neighborhood that is a little bit more modern industrial with like renovated warehouse type builds. So yeah, that is definitely also a thing here. And I really, really like it. I also love the furniture in this pack. I think it is so cute. It is more on the mid-century modern inspired side of things, and that's probably because it's like Nordic Scandi inspired maybe a little bit, so I could totally see a little crossover there. And I love retro inspired slash mid-century modern type items. I just think they're so fun, and we got a bunch of those in this expansion pack. So I was really excited to see those. There are some really fun, colorful options for everything. I also really like that tile. You can't really see it right now, but I'm using it in the bathroom downstairs and upstairs as well, and also in the kitchen for the apartment. There's also this really fun wallpaper that comes in a bunch of different patterns and different colors as well. So I really, really like that. And there were just some really unexpected and fun colors that I think I'll use a lot in different types of builds as well. So yeah, that was very exciting for me to see. And then we're getting started on actually furnishing this cafe part. So we got a new barista bar set up with this kit as well, which I think is very exciting. We of course only have the one from the Get Together expansion pack. So obviously that one has been around for a little while, and now we have this one that, from the looks of it, has a coffee maker attached to it. I haven't actually used this one in gameplay just yet, so we'll have to see if I placed it correctly when we do a little tour of the build and when we do some play testing as well. But it should be fine. Also, obviously, I just wanted to quickly mention that I will be uploading these builds to the gallery once the pack actually comes out. Of course, this early access version of the game doesn't actually have access to the gallery because the pack isn't out yet, so that makes sense. But once the pack is out, I will be uploading these builds to the gallery if I manage to actually correctly transfer over my save files from this game to my own game. It did work out last time I had early access. I think that was for rent. So it did work out then, but it's always a little bit of a scary process. So fingers crossed, but it should be fine, and I should be able to actually upload these lots to the gallery once the pack is out. But yeah, here you can see that I was definitely playing around with some colors. I really like those little cafe tables in green. I think those are such a fun pop of color. Again, I just really like that shade of green. I think it's really pretty. I haven't really seen it in the game ever before, so that was definitely fun. Here I was briefly trying to actually fit in a piano, because there's a new piano in this pack as well that I really like, but unfortunately the piano was just a little bit too big. This cafe, you may or may not have noticed, is actually really, really small, so I didn't really have that much space in here. But I really do need to use the piano at some point. I don't think I used it in any of the builds that I did for this early access, unfortunately. But it is a really, really cool item. For some reason, the builds that I did with this pack all turned out to be a little bit more cramped, which I do really like. I feel like it kind of fits the vibe, and especially if your sim is just starting a business from scratch and it's their first business, and it's kind of fun to start small maybe and then expand later on. Also, one of my favorite items coming with this pack is this hanging plant that I placed on top of the bookcase. They went about that in a very, very smart way, because it's actually a plant that you hang on the wall. So it's like a wall plant, but they made it so that you can actually also place it on top of the bookcase, and it slots perfectly, and it just looks like it's a little plant sitting on top of the bookcase, kind of hanging over it. Really pretty. So they went about that really smart. I really like the way they did that, and that plant is one of my favorite items. There's another really cute plant as well in this pack. There's also a lot of really cute lights. There is a variety of, I think there's three standing lights actually. There's a ring light, and then this really cool upcycled little vintage lamp, and then another more modern, kind of smaller standing light that I really like. There's some hanging lamps, some wall lights. I don't know, there's just a variety of different types of lights. There's also new curtains in the pack that I always really enjoy. Those curtains are a little bit more classic looking. They're by no means modern, but then I feel like the colors that they come in could be used in a little bit of a mixture of styles, I guess, for different types of builds. I feel like that would still work. I really like those colors. And then I think a base game update thing, because obviously I'm using the base game update for, or in this build as well, because that's part of this build of the game. There is an update to base game counters, not the industrial ones that I'm using in the store here, but the very basic base game ones that I'm actually using in this little area as a fake like checkout area. So yeah, I think I use those. Not in the apartment. I will use them in upcoming builds too, but yeah, I think the base game update is out by the time you're watching this video, so I think that you should have access to them already, unless they're part of the pack, but I don't think so, because they're base game counters. So I think those are just newly added swatches that are coming with the base game update, so that's very, very exciting. So yeah, the bike store is really small, thankfully, because like I explained already, it's probably not going to be functional in the way that you would expect it to be. So thankfully it doesn't take up that much space, but I obviously did park a bunch of bicycles in it because those I was imagining are all for sale. And then I also placed some decorations. I was also thinking that this could be a bike repair shop. So actually maybe that is something you could do, because you can offer services in this pack obviously as well, and charge for that. So maybe you can just kind of repair stuff here and charge for that. I'm not exactly sure how you would go about that, because I don't think that bikes actually break, but I could be wrong. And then to just stock the store a little bit more, I just placed some hanging shelves on the wall, and then I just placed some small decorations. I was kind of pretending that those could be accessories for bicycles, even though they're not. They're just like random crystals and figurines and stuff, but I was just kind of imagining that they could be some sort of accessories for bikes that you can purchase at this bike/bike repair shop kind of place. So that's what I did here. Oh, I also really like that tiny table lamp that I quickly placed by the laptop. I love that thing. I think it's so pretty. It comes in a variety of different colors and it's just absolutely adorable. Of course, I used it in black here, but I think that's fine. And then after we finished the bike shop, we are going to be decorating the apartment. So we have a little 2-story apartment on the 2nd and 3rd floor of this building. It's a 2-bedroom apartment, which I think is kind of nice. It is more spacious than you would expect. I did use the newly added base game counters in this build. I think they're perfect. There's no new kitchen in this pack, but I think that's fine because we literally just got these newly added base game counters. And then there's the recolors or newly added colors to the basic base game counters as well. So kitchen-wise, I feel like we're good. There is this new sink in the pack that is really pretty and sort of matches the colors of these counters and also the new swatches for the other base game counters. So I really like that, especially with this counter, this type of counter, since it doesn't have that little thingy in the back that kind of goes up to the wall, if that makes sense. These counters don't have that, and the sink doesn't have that either. So it blends in pretty seamless. I really like how that looks. So yeah, when you first walk into this apartment, you kind of walk into the kitchen. Oh, and then I almost forgot to place burglar alarms. So I quickly did that for this build as well, because we have burglars now. So you gotta be careful and you gotta place your burglar alarms because we don't want to get robbed. We are not about that, or maybe you are. I mean, no judgment there. It's kind of fun, you know, it's kind of fun when it happens. Yeah, anyway, when you walk into this apartment, you kind of walk into the kitchen, and that is that tile that I was talking about earlier that I really like. I used it in a darker, I think it's a black and white or maybe a blue and white. I think it's a black and white. And I really, really like that color, or that tile in general. The pattern is so pretty, and then also the different colors that it comes in. I think it's just so adorable. And then off of the kitchen here is where we have a small living room. There is no 3-seater couches in this pack. There are 2 love seats, or actually there's 3. I think there's 3 love seats, which I love them all so much. All these love seats in this pack are so pretty. Then there's this armchair. There's 2 different armchairs. This one's by far my favorite. It's very retro, and I just really like the pattern on it, especially in this swatch. There's not a pattern for every swatch, but then there's this one swatch in green that I really like. I think it's so pretty. Also, the rug is so nice. It thankfully also comes in some very neutral colors. So not only colorful patterns, but also just some solid neutrals, which I really appreciate. But I love the colors that it comes in, and the retro patterns I think are absolutely amazing. Some of these items I would love to have in my real life dream home, especially that rug. that chair, you know, that I placed in the corner. I just love them so much. I think it's absolutely amazing. So yeah, I had to place that in here as well. I also really like that wall light that I placed over top the TV. I think that's really pretty, and it gives a really nice light as well. So it's a really nice little ambiance kind of light. There's this really pretty retro dining table as well, and then these matching chairs, and I matched the swatch of those chairs to the armchair in the living room so that we have a nice tie-in moment there. And then I placed that really pretty hanging light that actually comes in 3 different variants for short wall height, medium, and then also for tall walls. And then I used, I think, the medium here, and then I sized it down once just to see how that worked, and that works out really, really well. So that was nice. For functionality purposes, I placed a small bookcase. There is a really pretty new bookcase in this pack, but I didn't have the space for it in this apartment. I did use it downstairs in the coffee shop though, so that's where I kind of showcased the brand new bookcase, and it actually comes, I think, in 2 variants where there's like different, you can kind of like match them. They're the same bookcases, but the clutter and like the books are a little bit different on each. So that is really nice that or actually maybe there's 3. There's 2 or 3 variants of it, which is really, really nice. So you can just kind of have them side by side. Also, one of my favorite items in this pack is this brand new little table that I placed next to the bed, that little nightstand, I guess. It's so small and it fits those really small areas perfectly because I placed this bed on a 3 wide area, and then these little nightstands still fit in the tiny space that you kind of have there. So that was actually perfect. Or did I place it on is that 4 tiles? No, I think that's 3 tiles. I don't know. In any case, I didn't really have the space for really big nightstands, but then these ones were absolutely perfect for that. They fit in there perfectly, so that was really nice. There is also a new bed in this pack that I used in the bedroom. I love that bed. It's very basic, but like elevated. It looks very comfortable. The colors are nice and neutral. There are some more colorful options as well, but it still doesn't feel too overwhelming. So that was really nice, and I really enjoyed using that bed. For the rest, the bedroom was really small, so I didn't really have that much space for stuff in there. And then there's a second bedroom here that I turned into an office/guest bedroom. I thought that would be nice for the person running this store, that they could have a nice office, maybe to just sit and do things, you know, use their laptop. I thought that would be nice. Realistically, when you do this small business gameplay, you don't really need an office for it because it's just not really how it works. But I think it's nice to kind of pretend that maybe you do. So I had a little office, and then there was still some space left in here, so I decided to go for a guest bedroom. I really like that nightstand or that little side table as well that I used in here. I think that was so pretty. So I used that, and then I used the rug in another very colorful swatch because I just can't get enough of that rug. It's one of my most overused items for these builds that I did with this pack because I just love it so much. And then up here we have a full bathroom, of course, with a shower, a sink, and a toilet because that is nice to have. Also obsessed with that mirror, by the way. I think that mirror is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I'm just placing the final few decorations here, and then that is going to be it for this build. So let's jump into the game and I'll show you the build in real time. So here we have the build in the game. For anyone that's familiar with Amsterdam, you'll know that this area is just very much inspired by the city, and I think it's so pretty. I love this church as well. You can take a historic tour here, which is so fun. And then just this little area here with the fountain, I think is so pretty. It would have been even more amazing if we had some apartments in this area, like in this building back here, for example. I think that would have been so much fun, but we do not. I do really like this lot that we built on though. It's really cute. And then look at all these bikes parked by the canal. This is so Dutch. You can even go down here and hang out on this bench. Maybe you can do some fishing. Oh wait, you can fish back here. Oh, I love this. This makes me want to do some rags to riches in this area. Anyway, back to the build. This is Bikes and Beans. Obviously the bike shop on this side. I was kind of hoping that you would just kind of be able to click these things and maybe set them for sale when you have your store open, but unfortunately that is not the case. On this side, however, we have the coffee shop. Now, one thing I didn't place in the speed build, but actually ended up placing later is this ticket kiosk, because that's where you can actually set an hourly or one-time fee, and then people can come in and just get coffee coffee, I think. But yeah, this is the coffee store. I think it's so cute. So when you first walk in, there's just like a little area here with a mirror, and I just love the colors. It's very small, as you can see. I didn't really have a lot of space for a lot of tables, but there definitely are some. Obsessed with that color green. I think it's so nice. And then that's that plant that I was talking about. This is actually a wall plant, but they made it so that you can put it on top of the bookcase and it looks seamless. There's a bathroom in the back here for customers to use, of course, and then they can take their coffee and sit out here. I think that is such a cute little space for Sims to hang out. And I'm obsessed with these awnings with the little lights hanging from them. How cute is that? Then this area back here is actually a residential area. So I set all these rooms downstairs as a public area, so that's where customers can come in, but then this area with the staircase and up is all residential. So that's where you enter the apartment. And this is the front door into the apartment, and then you kind of enter into the very small kitchen. Love this tile. I think that is so pretty. And then the kitchen's just very self-explanatory. There's a fridge in this corner here, and then through this archway is where we have the very colorful living room. I really like all these furniture items, especially this rug. I just think is so pretty, and that chair is so gorgeous. Really like that upcycled lamp as well. This small collage of pictures. Also, this stool is one of my favorite items in the game. It's amazing. And then in the back here, I actually matched the chairs and the wallpaper. I thought that was such a moment. And then we also have a balcony out here. This is a really pretty glass door. It's very narrow and I just really like it. And then there's a really small balcony out here, but it's so small that I didn't actually end up placing anything here. Then going upstairs is where we have the bedrooms. So there's a really tiny hallway here that leads you into, I guess, the main bedroom that is really small. Again, just love those nightstands and the bed. There's also a new tall wardrobe in here, and I love it. It is so basic and just so pretty. There's a small chair and a light in the corner here. Of course, there's a small bathroom with just a shower, a sink, and a toilet. And then there is an office slash bedroom on this side as well. These are the new bookcases. I think those are so nice and basic. I just get so excited about the basics. I don't know why. But then maybe we could actually open Bikes and Beans and see what happens. So we open up the store. Excuse me, can you just, yes, okay, thank you. What happens when you tend the specialty coffee bar? Let's see if people come in. We have this guy, Corey. He actually came in and he paid. So if you want to, he can grab some coffee from us. We're tending the coffee bar. Oh, there he comes. Yay, we're making him coffee. That is so cute. And then Katrina actually came in and paid, and then she left, so that's kind of awkward. This guy is coming in. He's checking in to pay. I think I set it to 5 simoleons hourly. I'm not sure what you're doing behind here, sir, but it's fine. Here you go. So everyone's ordering coffee and tea and cupcakes. Oh my god, you can run a coffee store like this. I'm sorry. How cute is that? I haven't tried this particular gameplay yet, so I think this is really cute. He's just cleaning my sink. That's fine. Mortimer Goth is getting a coffee as well. Oh, this is so fun. I could do this all night. I could do this all night. But yeah, as you can see, this coffee store is functional. The bike shop, unfortunately, isn't, but we can just pretend. We can pretend it's vibes. It's only small, so it can just be decorative, you know, it's fine. But in any case, the coffee store is functional and really cute. So yeah, there's that. So this build, of course, is not on the gallery just yet, but it will be once the game is actually out. Then I'll make sure to place this build on the gallery. But that's gonna do it for today's video, so I really hope that you enjoyed this one. You can't download this off the gallery just yet, but at some point you will be able to. You can follow me on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmery Sims. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so, and if you'd like to get notified every single time I upload, just click that little bell icon. I also live stream over on Twitch a few times a week, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and give me a follow over on twitch.tv/Simmery Sims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!